How did your exposure and experience in your career, because you've been exposed to different markets across the world,
Yes.
and also obviously markets within South Africa, markets in Africa. How did that aid when you now went into business for yourself? How did that exposure help in terms of setting up the business and ensuring that you provide that value to clients?
Yeah. I think what has worked well in my case is that it has allowed me to leverage on the networks I created.
Right. You did say you made a lot of networks.
Yes. And that's very critical. Look, people move, shift around, organizations close, whether locally or globally, but you got to keep your finger in the pulse. I have networks that date back to actually 20 years.
How do you keep those networks going?
You
see, that's an important thing for entrepreneurs especially.
Yeah, before there was LinkedIn, there was Who's Who.
I remember Who's Who, yeah.
So before certain platforms were even there from an internet perspective or a digital perspective, people got together at events. And with my background, you would run into a host of stakeholders.
From presidents,
boardroom
ministers,
level,
CEOs,
right down to grassroots. I have been in positions where, and it's you need to have that skill to engage with stakeholders on all levels, where you go to villages, you sit around the formal structures, tahoro as they call it, or the ndunas, and engage with them to say, look, our company wants to either build another plant, extend a plant, build a road. These are the benefits to this community. This is how it will improve economically. Jobs will be created, and you keep going on those meetings and engaging, and addressing those issues, setting up the platforms for the leadership to come and account and explain how it will economically impact those communities, right at grassroots, where there was no flashing taps, no toilets, but because of certain national infrastructure or investment put into the country, that little village has turned into a town and has now turned into a metropolis place because there are roads now, there's KFCs. There was a time when, back in the days of being in the energy sector, where I was responsible of supporting the EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment team, when the Medupi power station was to be built.
Yep.
And when we got there,
that Lephalale.
Yeah. That it was very there was the way I remember we got there. We were wearing jackets because it was cold in Joburg. And we were going to be there for a week.
You get there, it's hot.
And it's hot. And mind you, I grew up in Limpopo. So I grew up in Limpopo.
Limpopo.
Yeah, I know. I've got a very interesting background. I've grown up in 4 provinces in totality because of the diversity of my family and my parents. But so when we got there, it was so hot. And I remember I was with my boss at the time, and I was like, yo, I came with winter clothes. I need... and she was like, no, there's only one jet or one pep. And
in the town.
In the whole town, it's like 3 stores or 4 just servicing. And now if you go there, I mean, it's almost like a metropolis area. There's shopping malls, there's this. So it's very interesting because you need to be able, just to come back to that point, you need to engage at all levels. And it's crucial. For me, I always had the philosophy of, I always seen this meme that says, speak to the janitor the same way you'd speak to a CEO, or treat someone working at a lower level the same way you treat so-called higher level people. Because even those people have influence.
Yeah.
Even those people can make or break a project. Even those people have the power, and I've seen, to bring down multi-billion rand industries.
What examples do you have?
Oh, come on. I mean, if you look at it, especially in America, but if you look at some of the companies that either wanted licensing to access petroleum or oil or minerals or resources, and they didn't go through those stakeholders properly.
Because they thought,
Yeah,
I don't have to talk to him.
yes. No, we don't have to engage them. No, actually you do.
We engage our peers.
You must start there. Because
Jeez.
if they don't approve, some of them, the land is their inheritance, or it's not that they want to block it as per se, but they want to know that the environment will be taken care of. So there's a host of reasons.
They're more interested in the environment more than even the money.
Yes. They're more interested in that heritage that they have. So for me, having to have networked at those levels and being able to bring that network, for me, it was clear that if I go out, the one key and critical thing I was going to leverage was the network I had.
Is that a skill you've always had?
Yes. I've always been sort of a people person. But I've always really centered myself around servant leadership. That whatever opportunity that comes, you must serve as if this is your temple. It's like your spiritual temple. So that's why I take my work, my craft, the people I meet with, the business, the clients I interact with, very serious, because then it becomes your brand. It becomes who you are. Yes, some people, you'll have one or two people who are not happy about something.
Yeah.
But at least if you've given it your all, you know that that relationship will remain. I still can reach out to people I've known, 20 years and say, hey, listen, do you still remember so-and-so? Do you, and they'll link you up. They will always do that. So never burn bridges, especially for SMMEs. Never treat a client so bad that you leave a bad taste in their mouth because you don't know around the corner when you're going to need those people, or when their testimony about your character is going to be portrayed. And right now we live in a very, with social media, you can, it's so easy to find people who've either abused that level of power or have not treated their clients or their networks as good, and that can damage you.